All right, it's the stretch. It's the interview day. It's Friday. We have two today. We have former White Sox, Cub, and Yankee Clint Frazier talking crazy stories. And then we have Chris Emma breaking down Bears camp. And when you have the Bears, you also got to talk about Miller Lite. So whether it's a long weekend or a full vacation, it's prime time to get buddies together. Summer's almost done, so make sure you're getting those Miller Lites. Since 1975, Miller Lite has been the perfect way to stock up your cooler when you're finally together again. Gather your crew. It's Miller time, the taste you can depend on, a great beer trusted by beer lovers and their beer-loving friends for 50 years. That's you and me, Dave.
Yep.
We'll be having them up at Camp Barstool, too. So Miller Lite is brewed for taste. Simply put, it just hits different, especially when shared with your favorite people. The original light beer since 1975 and still iconic 50 years later. So pack the coolers. Enjoy the end of summer. Get your Miller Lite. They have it everywhere that sells beer in Chicago. And if you need it for delivery, just go to MillerLite.com/stretch for those delivery options. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. And now, Clint Frazier.
Whoosh.
Do you have a nose ring in, or we have like a weird reflection going on?
I've had a nose ring in for like 10 years now.
Okay. All right. Just making sure everything's good on our end.
Yeah. Sorry about that, dude.
Steinbrenner
All right.
like that?
What'd you say, bro?
Did Steinbrenner like that?
Well,
I had to take it out every day.
He's not.
The second I mean, if I didn't take it out before like my feet hit my locker, someone was going to be there taking it out for me.
Oh, shit, that bad, huh?
That was really bad.
Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, we're rolling. We'll probably just leave that little bit
Yeah,
in
we'll
if you
just
don't
leave
mind.
that in right there.
Might as well.
All right, we have White Sox and Cubs legend and Yankee Clint Frazier. Clint, thanks for joining the show.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me. I think I saw you follow me on Twitter, Dave. So
Yep.
I hope something comes my way.
It
So
did.
I'm glad to be here.
Well,
Are we going to be coworkers soon?
It's an audition.
All I'm hoping is that this is an audition because
it totally is.
I'm doing fucking numbers right now, bro.
I'm not kidding. You really are. And
yeah, bro.
Well, if you let it rip about the White Sox, we're about to do it again. So
listen, bro, I've got a few good stories. I mean, I won't say names.
of course, you don't have to throw anybody under the bus or, cancel anybody for all intents and purposes, but that's what we want to talk about. And I was just listening to Pick Central. Awesome perspective on your time with the Yankees and all that. I don't want to hold you too long because I know you got a pickleball tournament that you got to dominate right now down in Tennessee, I think you said. But I kind of just want to start there. What happened in that little stretch of 2023 with the Chicago White Sox? We all heard the clip on Foul Territory with AJ, but how'd it go? Reiterate it for us.
And what was the process? Who brought you in? What was your expectation coming in? Because they hadn't turned rotten really yet.
They were right on the precipice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was with the Rangers in spring training and ended up not having a spot on that team and got a spot with the White Sox in AAA and went over there and had no clue what it was going to be like. Just only knew a few players in the big leagues from passing, but I was still in AAA, right? So I had to earn my spot. And dude, guys, I mean, you go and check it. I went on a fucking tear in that AAA. And so for me, I was like, whoa, that was crazy. You get hot sometimes as players, you realize okay, I'm really in my bag right here. But I was outside of my bag. I was even further than what I thought I was going to do. So when I got called up, I mean, I immediately got called into the manager's office and he was reiterating, hey, I've got a lot of superstars on this team that don't want to try hard. They don't want to play. They don't want to go hard. He's like, I really need you to do what you were doing and be somebody that's playing hard because I just can't get it out of these other guys.
Did you even know what that meant? You're coming from the Yankees where you
Cubs,
where you have genuine superstars and a standard, and it's what do you mean? What do you mean guys don't want to play?
I just got here off waivers a week ago, coaching. I'm supposed to be the clubhouse leader.
Yeah, you got to be the culture guy.
I just had super limited exposure to the White Sox, I maybe had played a few games in my career against them, and I always felt when they came to town, I'm like, this is a pretty good lineup. You know what I mean? Like this is like a really good team. And they had some guys that were, really good players, but like they just never like did anything. And so I think a lot of it started with the fact that like the people that they had in the minor league system that were like installed there to help like bring the most out of these players, like they couldn't bring it out of them because these guys got deals like super young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like it's really hard to motivate people once they have a deal at like a really young age because the money's guaranteed. So I think that some of them were just okay just being like, dude, I'm paid.
I'm
like,
rich. Yeah.
My arm's a little sore today. Like I'm going to take today off, even though it's fine. Like they just didn't have anybody on that team. Like they didn't have a player that would call them on it. They had players that would be like watching and being like, I guess he's not playing today. And everyone would be like, all right. But if I was on a different team, it would be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you're not playing today? And you could lose guys for weeks, bro. That's all I'm saying. You could lose them for weeks over nothing. Just maybe like they're just like tired.
Was there like so you come mid-season and all right, here you're in Charlotte. All right, you're back in Chicago now. Here's your locker. Was there a specific moment aside from when the coach or player development guy or whoever said, "Hey, we got a lot of superstars here," but was there a spot where you saw it where you're like, "What the hell is this? Like, what is this guy doing? Why is he acting like he got shot by a 50 cal from the stands after a hit by pitch?" You know,
there was a screenshot circulating in the group text and amongst players of another player about how far they really had fallen in the speed category. And they went from being, I would say, like top 5% of speed in Major League Baseball when they joined to being like bottom 5%. And you're like, hold on, like I just saw this guy like leg out a double and he's not that slow. So like you really saw like as his pockets got heavier, his feet just like became cement blocks.
He's just out for a Sunday stroll.
Bruh. Like the dude can move. Like he can move. He can run faster than any of us that were talking trash about his speed. I mean, I think he had a speed close to Andrew Vaughn's, and it was like that's a serious problem. If like if that's what he's bringing,
that's the effort he's bringing.
That's effort right there. That's it's like I don't really care. Like, bro, I would see these guys like certain people hit doubles, and like I pimp doubles.
Yeah.
This is like I don't even want to get to second base type like effort that they're leaving out on the table.
Who was the manager that year?
Pedro Grifal.
Yep. It was his first year.
So like because obviously that's a stat that's readily available to you guys in the group chat. Does he bring that to that player and other players, and they're just like, go fuck yourself?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, so.
Yeah.
To that exact question, we all saw the clip, and White Sox fans were all sleuths, and we're all miserable, and we're all just awful people at this point because of the organization we root for. But we all knew who you were talking about. I'm not even going to ask you to repeat the name, even though we all know who it is and what you were talking about. But can you take me to that exact situation when the player didn't leg out he thought that it was a foul ball, but it was in play, and he said, "You better not take me out of this game or we're going to have a problem." Like, that was your first couple days with the organization, from what I remember, or at least in Chicago. And like, where's your head in that moment? Like, did you take the manager's advice and be like, "I'm going to go talk to this guy," or did you just be like, "You know what, hands off, I'm out"?
Listen, bro, I'm sitting there. And we're in like look, I can't give too many details. Like I said, fill in the blank. Like this is my guy. Like I'm friends with this person. So with all that being said, the interaction is happening, but there's only a few people that were standing there that heard exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're face to face in this situation, and it's something along the lines of like, if you take me out of this game, we're going to have a serious problem. And he's like, "Are you threatening me?" And he's like, "Nah, but I'm just letting you know like how things are going to go around here." And so he doesn't come out the game. And thank God he doesn't come out the game, because if he doesn't come out the game, if he comes out the game, we're in a bad spot. I mean, it doesn't really matter at that point. That's it was a bad spot in general. But like I'm sitting there and a few guys are like, "Did you just hear what he said?" And I'm like, "What'd he say?" And they're like, "You just threatened him." And I'm like, "Threatened him? Like what?" And they were like, "Yeah, like dude, he told him it's gonna be a bad spot. Like you don't want to do this to me. Like you know that you can't do this." And like man to man, like I think Pedro's in a situation where he's like, "What the fuck?
Yeah, am I gonna have to fight this guy in the clubhouse?" Like,
do with this team if this is the interactions I'm getting when I'm asking them for more effort type thing, because to a certain extent, like Pedro, this player that called him out told me that he told Pedro after that you took the hardest job in sports. Like, so he knew this is going to be the hardest job because there's not going to be a lot of regulations. There's not going to be a lot of rules. And we're just good going out there every night because this is how it's been for us. You know what I mean? Like there was no like, we got to get this shit going, boys, meetings in the locker room. Like there would be combos, but it would be like 5-6 seconds. Guys would be on their phones, not even like looking up while like this stuff is going on. And you're just like, I'm looking around like this is like the most unique experience I've been through because I went from an organization that like, if I have my facial hair one meter too long, that's like triple murder,
yeah.
Like, so to come over here and you can start threatening the managers and go along the lines of like not even playing. It was like for me, I was like, I'm loving this. Like
I don't have to be on time. Like I don't have to do.
I'll just show up. I mean, you
no
weren't
pressure.
there, but do you remember you were playing against him at the time? But do you remember Yermin Mercedes when he had that like all-world Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds type run? Apparently, he got such big-headed after that run that he would just show up for a 1 p.m. like getaway day game at noon, take a couple hacks in his swing and be like, I'm ready. And it just flew. It just flew with the organization. Granted, that was Tony La Russa, not Pedro Grifol at the time, but it's just like, man, the inmates have ran the asylum for so long here. But thank Christ. And based off of what I was listening on the internet and all your numbies that you've been doing on the internet lately, you've been keeping your ear to the grindstone baseball-wise since your retirement last summer, right?
Yeah.
So have you watched White Sox at all?
Yes. I've seen some games.
What do you think of their last month or so? They're playing like the opposite brand of baseball they were when you experienced all this disgustingness.
I think Will Venable is like a good person to put there, right? Because Will's still pretty young. Like with these guys that they're gonna need to like produce, like Colson Montgomery, and you have guys like Andrew Benintendi and certain guys that will be there for a little while. Like Will is like the perfect middleman to bridge the gap of like player but coach. I know the hitting coach, the major league hitting coach over there. I know who the third base hitting coach is, or the third base coach. Like it's a very youthful coaching staff, but it's the right coaching staff because to a certain extent, like something that I feel like I noticed a little bit with the White Sox was like some of these coaches were like kind of friends with players too, a little bit.
Tough to,
And that's fine. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, so, like the guys that I'm talking about that were never problems, like you can be friends with those guys, but there's glaring people that like, if you watch those games, who needed to pick it up, who was like,
who was in the bottom 5% in the league in speed.
Like there, for sure. So like those people, like it gets weird to call those people out a little bit. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, like coaches are more expendable than the players to a certain extent now because players are pretty powerful. And so you kind of keep your mouth shut once you develop certain types of relationships with these people. But from the coaches that they have there, I would believe that they would keep the friendship at kind of an arm's distance and be able to be the person that can turn this around, because the guy that's the hitting coach for the Yankees right now, or the White Sox, was from the Yankees.
Okay.
And he's already got 10 years in the major leagues as a player and a coach, and he's not there to babysit. You know what I mean? Like he's there because I think they think he's an outside source that can turn some things around and maybe bring some stuff from his past experience with the Yankees into the White Sox locker room and utilize some of these guys' talents the way that they should be utilized, because you have good players that step on that field, but you don't have great results. And so you have to have certain people in certain situations that can help bring things out of you and make you the best player that you are, because it's a long fucking year, guys.
Yeah.
Like
It's a drag.
It's a long year.
Yeah.
These guys are throwing 105. You've got blind umpires behind the plate. You got day games with shadows. You can't even see the ball. Like it's very repetitive. You do the same thing every single day, and you want to have people there that want the same results as you. And I think that the White Sox right now, like obviously the beginning of the season was like, okay, if you're betting the money line for the other team, it's probably a good option.
Yep.
But right now, they're sneaking some of those money lines from you. And so they're doing well. And I think that it takes time for guys to get comfortable and for people to understand that, like, hey, I'm here. Like, I'm in this lineup every day. That was one thing that the White Sox did, was it was like the same lineup every day. Like you could hope, you knew you were in that lineup if you were one of their best guys.
Yeah.
So that's big for players, because you need to know you're going to play.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break from talking to Clint. I want to talk to you guys about Viore. Dave, I'm wearing the joggers right now.
I got to say your butt looked really good this morning. I didn't want to say it out loud, but I will, because I know you're rocking the Viores.
Booty's popping. And not only is it make me look good, they're versatile, they're comfortable, they're perfect for whatever your day brings. So it looks great beyond just the gym. So if you're running errands, head in the office. I'm obviously in the office, meeting up with friends. The core short is the short that started it all for Viore. You got to get those soft, lightweight, 4-way stretch performance. It moves with you, no restriction. They got this great breathable boxer brief liner on the inside. It's awesome. So they have a store on Southport. I'm there frequently loading up. I'm ready to load up again for the fall. So Viore is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they're offering 20% off your first purchase. So big deal. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viore.com/stretch. That's VUORI.com/stretch. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. And not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but you get free shipping too on any order over $75 with free return. So again, go to viore.com/stretch. Find the clothing that works for you, the absolute best. Now we'll kick it back to Clint Frazier.
Now, that actually brings me back to kind of your story that I wanted to talk about, honestly, at the top of the show, but we'll get to it now. Do you think you got, because you never really got that consistency at any stop of your life, and then by the time, like, last year came around in 2023 at the White Sox, it was kind of at its end, but you never got that, like, consistent 500 at bats that full season. I think the most you ever had was about 250 in a season. Do you have any not pettiness, but like bitterness towards baseball or the Yankees or your path, or no?
I think I probably had like more bitterness in the moment, because I was sitting there and like, I mean, I literally got optioned on Father's Day in Chicago with the Yankees, and I was hitting 287 with an 856 OPS.
Right,
so like
you were smoking the ball.
Runs, and got optioned and was like, dude, what is going on? And then hearing Booney make comments like right around the September call-up of that same season, being like, like, we don't know if we're calling him back up. It's like, you don't, like, what? Me? Like, I'm not coming back?
I was the fifth overall pick. Like, you traded for me for Andrew Miller. Like,
traded for me. Like,
yeah.
It was just weird, bro. It was just weird because, like, hear me out, guys. Like, I might not have been the easiest person for people to, like, want to work with the Yankees, but I promise you, I was just being who I am right now. They were the problems. It wasn't me. They were the ones that were too corporate or too, just like I said, on foul territory. Like, there's just a lot of people there that, like, don't have relatables with players. And so when you don't have
rocket scientists,
they're not going to laugh at my jokes. They're not even going to, like, understand them, So, like, you guys, at least I can come here. I can talk and hope after I leave, y'all are like, yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I like this guy.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I like this guy.
They would be like, with me, they'd be like, how many more
button your shit up?
How many more times can we option this guy to AAA? Like, so for me, like, to not get that full runway that I wanted, but I had numbers that supported, like, hey, I should be an everyday guy. It was frustrating because I do feel like I was poking the bear and kind of like getting myself in trouble a little bit, because I would say the things that I'm saying to y'all right now. And like the team knew, they're like, this motherfucker's gonna he's gonna say something. Like, we gotta stash him and hide him. Because if he's out too much, something's gonna be said.
Yeah. Do you look at a guy now like PCA, where like last year, he struggled mightily, and he's like an eccentric guy too. He speaks his mind. We interviewed him at spring training, and he had blue stars in his hair. And the Cubs, like Jed and the Cubs, they just didn't give a fuck, and they let him kind of fail for a year, and then everything clicked this year, and the Cubs are going in the fucking shitter, but like he was having an MVP year. And it's like, I look at you guys like as a, limited exposure, but personality types, there's some crossover there.
Yeah.
So do you look at that and be like, man, if I had landed in a spot like PCA did, like my whole career could have been a little different?
Dude, I wish you could have I wish I had screenshots of like the day that I got traded, because like I got a text message. I didn't even get the news broken to me that I got traded. I got a screenshot from a friend being like, bro, Yankees? And I'm like, what? Like, so I knew that from my past experience, I'm thinking like, this is not good.
Like, right away you thought that?
Within minutes.
Okay.
I thought that because I want to say, I haven't done any research, but like, I think I'm still the most money that the Indians had ever given in a signing bonus to a player.
Okay.
So in my eyes, I was like, they're gonna pour into me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna be like PCA. I'm gonna get those at bats. And so whenever I got traded, the only thing I knew about the Yankees was like, they just go out and buy the next player. You know what I mean? And so I had Jacoby Ellsbury in front of me. I had Hicks on a guaranteed contract. I had Gardy on a guaranteed contract. I had Judge was about to turn into Babe Ruth in like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Like there was just too many people in front of me that made me feel like there's no spot for this guy.
There's no path.
I knew my role, and it was going to be like every 7th day. And so that was hard for me because my entire life I went from being like the guy to being like, I'm that guy now, that guy's just down there hanging out, waiting for his moment. They'll sneak in a few at bats for him. He's going to AAA the first game that goes 13 innings and blow arms out.
Yeah.
Like he's gone. So for me, it turned into like, all right, if you're not going to play me, like you're going to hear from me type thing, because I wanted out of that situation. I didn't just sit there and want to be a backup, right. I said to their faces multiple times, like, I'm out, like I'm going home. I'll give you guys a story, like to the extent that it got like 2020 comes around, COVID hits, they give players options to get the vaccine. I get called and I'm like, hey, we want you to get vaccinated. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, you have high blood pressure, so you're deemed as a high risk individual. And so that's what MLB was deeming, right? Mm-hmm. No, that's good for me. That was good. Wait till I get to this. That was great. They fucked up telling me that. So 2020 comes around. I'm a high risk individual. Any high risk individual can opt out and get a full salary for the season.
Oh,
so they put me on the major league roster to start the game. Of course, we go to DC. We go 14 or 15 innings. I'm looking around. I'm packing my bags in like the 7th inning because I'm like, it's over. Like, I go to Scranton. I have one option left. One left. They played this game with me for years, right? So the way that it works is you go to the minor leagues. If you're in the minor leagues for 20 days, you have an option burned. If you don't surpass 20 days, they can call you back up and then they can keep that option for the next year. I'm on day 19. And the farm director calls me and he's like, hey, man, just checking in. I'm like, hey, man, I'm going the fuck home tomorrow. Like,
don't even try it.
Yeah.
I'm burning my option. I'm burning my 3rd option and I'm going home. So you have one option. You call me up or I'm done for the year. And I got called up the next day and came in 2nd in a Gold Glove and had a 915 OPS on the season. And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, it felt like a jail sentence a little bit because I was like ruffling the wrong feathers. Yeah. So you talk about being jaded just a little bit, Dave.
Fuck the Yankees is what it sounds like. Yeah.
Going back. So like certain individuals with the Yankees.
Yeah. Going back to the White Sox real quick. did you ever get the sense that people above, like front office people, knew like the inmates were running amok?
I love that phrase, by the way, run amok. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Like as the season like progressed, you started to see more of the, like, I would just say more of the guys coming out of the foxholes.
The suite.
Okay. Yeah.
They were on the field for BP. Their kids were there. They're saying what's up. It was almost kind of like, I don't know how to interpret it. Maybe it was like, I'm here, so you guys better like play better, or it was like maybe they just knew that was their last time they'd get to watch BP on the field, and they're gone.
Probably a little bit of both. Like, hey, Daddy's watching, but Daddy's about to go run for some cigarettes in a minute and might not ever come back.
They 100% knew, but I don't think that they had like the infantry to fight that war that they were losing heavily. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, they armed all those guys.
The front lines were beyond collapsed at that
They were funding the war against themselves.
Yeah.
They were. That's so funny, dude. They lost that war, too, bro.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a microcosm of everything that's going on now.
What was your experience like with the Cubs? Like that, because that was obviously a shorter stint, too, but you were on both sides of town, and like that was not a great
That was
year.
also kind of the end of their, well, a little after.
Yeah. That was like the rebuild starting.
The Cubs were sick for me, because like one experience that I didn't want to lose out on was like, you play with the Yankees, like everything is like top tier, like first class, like hotels are the best, the flights are the best, the food is the best, like everything is just the best. So like when I went to the Cubs, I was like, this is a big market team still, but they're kind of like under the radar a little bit. Like it'll be like a mini Yankees for me. And I wanted that because I still wanted to have some attention of like people realizing we're still playing baseball, like not just showing up to like an empty ballpark. And so the players were awesome, dude. The coaching staff was fucking awesome. I mean, knowing Mike Napoli was the base running coach.
Who's ever stolen a base in his life?
Talk about bottom five and speed.
Loved it, though. But you get on first base and Mike is fucking dialed, dude.
Yeah.
And then like third base is Willie Harris, and you're like, that's
awesome guy
over there. Like they were awesome. The Cubs were so like uniquely ran, bro, because they have a person in their organization that like is not even baseball related, but like swear to God, he's the GM. It's insane. Like he would be the one sending the lineup out. Like
Whoa.
He would be folding laundry for the players' lockers. He did every single job, and he was like one of the best people to work with. So like, when he would send that lineup out, that was the first time in my baseball career that I knew if I was playing the night before or not. So I was like, this is my guy. Like,
Really?
Who are you speaking about?
The travel secretary.
Okay. Traveling secretary.
George Costanza.
It's like,
Literally George Costanza.
everybody, like, every player loved him. The GOAT would send the lineup out.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, this is like making it like it's still serious, but it's a little unserious. Like,
Yeah. You can have fun with baseball.
Yeah, like They put the guy there that they knew everybody loved to be like, you're playing, bud, and he'd be like,
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So like he was awesome, bro.
Okay.
Clint, are you obviously you're messing around with the whole media thing right now, or maybe you're trying to a little bit, but do you got any like coaching aspirations or getting back in the game that way? Because I've watched and listened to you a lot over the last few weeks, and the brain's obviously there to do it. Obviously, you would connect with players being a top 5 pick yourself, and so is that like on the horizon at all, or are you just kind of done?
I got a text if I was interested in a certain position to like be a hitting coach in the minor leagues, and I'm just like, no.
That's also like you're reworking your way up,
Again, dude, right back to jail. Like I'm out.
Yeah.
Like shackles are off. Like I don't want to ride a bus after I just rode the bus. Look, man, like let's be completely honest. Like, do we really see a team being like, that's going to be the guy that we're going to like let coach on our route? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like you're a good vibes guy.
Well, it's so necessary, and I'll be completely frank. Like when the whole analytics things, I actually read, not listened or not watched the movie. I read Moneyball, not to brag, and
Congrats.
For a while I was like, oh fuck that, I'll trust the eye test, and then I would say a little victim to being too heavily reliant on analytics, especially when the White Sox started the first rebuild with all the guys that we were just alluding to back in 2016-17. But now I'm kind of like, all right, analytics, they're a great tool, but you need the baseball players. You need guys that want to play baseball, that know the history of baseball, that like baseball, that enjoy being in between those white lines, because I'll bring them up off camera, but I've become friends with a handful of your former ex-players with the White Sox or teammates, and there was a clear divide between baseball rats and guys that just didn't like baseball. And I think that you need baseball guys in the dugout telling people that, hey, like, this is an awesome game. You can have a lot of fun out here on top of making a lot of money, and I think you'd be a good guy for that, you know?
I think players would be open to it. I don't know if like front office people would.
They want that Yale guy, right?
Just because, like, bro, like they're so like, hear me out, man. Like especially with the Yankees, and I'll say it this way. Like, again, I'm not really trying to talk trash. Like, this is just like personal experiences that people will perceive as whatever. But there were a lot of people that were on the coaching staff, any kind of coaching staff, whether it's the minor leagues, the major leagues, whether it was training staff, anybody that was employed by the team. You had to be really careful what you said to them, dude, because information would trickle up that ladder so fast. And I do have personal like issues with certain people, because I was like, I confided certain.
I trusted you.
I trusted you, you rat.
As a friend, with the concussion stuff that I was going through, that makes its way up the ladder. And I don't know if they're my friend anymore because of that, or if they were never my friend. And so when it comes to like being a coach, I could not do that to players. I couldn't do that to people. Like, I don't want to like fuck somebody over to like elevate myself, because that's kind of the reality, is that like you have to adhere to the people above you.
For sure.
Sometimes you can be in certain situations where you're like, my mouth and my hands are tied. Like, my mouth's closed, my hands are tied, and I've got to tell the GM that this player just told me this, you know? So
and that's
like
pretty uniform across all 30 teams.
I think with some, they would like separate, like I don't think that the White Sox would tell on me, because I just don't think that like they cared. But I did reference earlier that like there were coaches that were player friends type,
Yep.
you know? So like they got it, they understood it. But like with other situations, like, bro, I'm getting fired if that's the option, because I'm going to be the guy that they're going to be like, why the hell did you not tell us this? Or maybe Kyle from Atlanta, Georgia is one of my players, and I think that he needs to be coached a little bit of a different way than what they want you to coach. Like there's like I keep saying, bro, there's certain people that can bring certain things out of you, and there's not really like a mold on how like sports in general should be played. You just like have people's abilities and their swag and their personality and their belief, and they just bring it to life. So like,
you got to be like a therapist a little bit.
That's like
a little bit. Like, you have to be somebody that players enjoy being around, and knowing like, damn, bro, like this is a tough game, because it's a lot of like, you find out like a lot of like what those people are made of in these situations too, you know, like, you can't coach this guy super hard, or this guy's got like, I got to check on this guy later, you know, like, like it's real life, bro. Like real life shows up in baseball a lot, because you're around people so much. So like, if I was a coach, I would just want to know that like, I could coach these guys how they need to be coached. You trust that like, it's for the betterment of everybody. If the player plays good, then the team's doing good in theory. So I would be a coach, but it would have to be like a certain situation, you know, like I think I have interest in doing that. I would think I'd be a really good college coach is what I've thought about.
There we go.
So that's what I was going to say. White Sox Dave used to run a travel program, and we've had a lot of guys come through, and I feel like it always comes up where Dave's like, you like baseball? I like baseball. Let's start a program.
I don't think I would want to do like starting a program with some of those parents.
That's the worst. Worst part about it. Why isn't Timmy pitching more than 4 innings?
Because Timmy fucking sucks.
Timmy stunk, first of all, and second of all, it's for exposure, and he got 4 innings worth. Never mind. But
like, I'm doing this for me, bud. Like, to make me look bad. That's why he's not out there.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't think I wouldn't want to do like literally, because like that's just, bro, I don't want to be driving all around the country to like hear like bells in the stands.
My dream like content vertical would be to use Barstool's name to put together one team that's a varsity team 16 through 18U that we make a run at East Cobb that's down by your hometown. Now,
that I would be interested in.
That's what I'm talking about. You just go and wrangle the best players in the tri-state, like Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana area, all around Chicagoland. Be like, hey, we're making a run at like legit talent. You know,
I would be, because that would be a great documenting.
That's my point. It'd be like me, like Kenny Powers type with you, obviously. You know, former fifth overall pick.
Yeah,
running the show and. That's like my dream.
In my neck of the woods too, bro.
Right.
Down in Georgia, I've still got I'm Aaron Judge down there in Georgia.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
With some of these high school kids.
And that's the absolute best crop of baseball in the country is right there in the Atlanta area, or one of them at least.
Hey, you ever want to do that, like keep me in mind, because that's something I could do.
That's
I don't, maybe a travel program's hard. White Sox Dave and a bunch of former MLB guys running a camp, like a camp for a weekend, and Dave's just like got his dip in and he's just chewing people out would be fucking hilarious.
What the fuck was that?
That'd be good.
Hit the poles.
Yeah.
Right? Hit the showers, me. Like, what the
All right, Clint. I had a great time. That was
awesome, Clint. Yeah. Appreciate it. Any plans to get to Chicago anytime soon?
I mean, maybe when I ink my Barstool contract.
That's what I'm saying. So get your ass up here. We'll live stream some games, maybe for the playoffs in a couple months, and go from there.
We should. I'm dead ass.
Yeah, I think that playoff stream will probably happen. We should be in touch for that.
The Cubs, they're going to make the playoffs. I don't know for how many games,
dude.
But who knows? But
they stink.
Appreciate all the insight, all the very clippable little stories we're going to have about the White Sox as White Sox. But it's weird. White Sox fans are actually, I will say, content right now with how things are looking, because, I mean, I don't know if you've been watching under a microscope or not, but they got a collection of your type of guys, just baseball rats right now that, like, a little dribbler down the third base line, like, their catcher's busting hard 90. Doesn't matter who it is, 1 through 9. So it's a good, fun brand of baseball right now. I think the wins will start coming a little more. So, but appreciate all the insight, and open invite to the office anytime you're in town, and we'll do this again soon, maybe before the playoffs start.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, guys. This was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it was fun having you.
It was awesome.
All right, boys. I'll see y'all.
See you, Clint.
Later, Clint.
All right, that was Clint Frazier. I love that dude. We got to get him back in here. Maybe next time he's back in here, we'll show him.
I know what we're gonna do.
Show him around the Jets Pizza.
We're gonna. Well, I think we should live stream with him, because I think he'd be electric on live stream. But you can't live stream without gross amounts of food, and we're gonna go to Jets.
You need it. So Jets Pizza does not compromise on quality. They've been using the same 5 core quality ingredients since day one. Every morning, 2 types of dough are made fresh in the store. You don't get that everywhere. Cheese is hand-grated. Veggies are hand-chopped. This is the good stuff. The sauce is mixed. In addition to making the best Detroit-style pizza, Jets is also known for their ranch. I feel like that goes hand in hand. Everybody already knows that. Made fresh in every store every day. Jets has 32 different Chicagoland locations, and there's 460 locations in 25 states. So no matter where you're listening, you likely got a Jets nearby. Just go to jetspizza.com for menu and those store locations. It's not pizza, it's Jets. Chicago only locations can get 20% off their Jets order by using promo code STRETCH20. That's STRETCH20 for 20% off your order. That's a big deal with pizza.
That's huge in Chicago.
Yeah, so load up. You know what? Have a party with your buddies. You basically get 4 pizzas, and you get the 5th one free.
If you're in Chicagoland, there's 32 stores. You're going to be by one, so just order one up for tonight, this weekend, whatever.
And maybe we'll send one to Chris Emma. Chris Emma's coming on right now to talk about the Chicago Bears. So let's get to that. Camp is underway. Preseason is Sunday. And now Chris Emma.
Whoosh. All right, we're joined in the interview portion of today's show with Chris Emma. Chris Emma, beat reporter for The Score, boots on the ground up in Lake Forest, and Chris is a longtime friend outside of work.
Yeah, but we've had a long hiatus.
We have had a long hiatus, and Chief and I, before we started recording today, we were talking. we're not sure the last time we've seen Chris Emmon. We're such big fans on just a personal level. We had to have you in, and you brought up a nice little fun ditty, we'll call it. What'd you say the last time we crossed paths, Chris?
Yeah, it was the day that Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles were hired. I remember sitting in the old the State Farm studio.
Yeah.
And saying, guys, I think the GM can be good. I'm not sure about the head coach. And that one kind of proved true.
It definitely proved true. That was kind of the last hire where I'm like, I don't trust the Bears fully until they prove it. Now I'll contradict myself later in the episode when I say that, but what gave you that pause right off the rip? Because every time the Bears make a hire, I think the fan base is kind of guilty of talking themselves into how that hire is going to finally be the one, But you right off the rip didn't. So what was it that gave you hesitation?
For starters, nobody else wanted Eberflus. Like, it's not like he was doing the circuit of interviews and he was with the Colts to this day and the Bears were the only team after him. It just didn't really fit. I don't want a defensive-minded NFL head coach. It typically doesn't work. And you could say if the offense is great, you're getting a new coordinator, but you constantly have a flow of uncertainty there. I want an offensive-minded head coach, and then hearing him that day, he's a culture coach, and he completely lost that culture in his tenure. That's what ultimately did him in it. I just roll my eyes when I hear acronyms, and we're going to be the hustle intensity team, and the culture building, it
hits.
Yes, it doesn't work in the NFL.
No, they're adults.
It's high school and college level stuff, and it just struck me as completely misguided. And look, I wanted to give it a chance. I was being nice that day, saying I wasn't sure about it. I wanted to see it through, but it was clear pretty quickly that it was just not going to work. And last year was the debacle of all debacles.
Yep, it totally was. And this is your 11th year covering the team, you said?
Year 11, yeah.
Year 11. We're getting really old.
Head coach number 4.
So so one every 3 years or so.
I don't even want to count the quarterbacks.
Don't even count them. No, we don't have to hash out the history as much as the present, which is what we all care about right now. But what is the contrast between this staff and the previous 3 since Lovey? Since you've been covering night and day.
Yeah, yesterday's practice was a perfect example. But Ben Johnson, the thing I've said to describe him was usually the smart coaches are soft and the hard coaches aren't the brightest bulbs out there.
Yeah.
He's incredibly smart and he's really determined to get the best out of these guys. He pushes them hard. He is an offensive mind, like a McVay, Shanahan type, but he's Dan Campbell to the core. And that's the combination you want. I remember when the Bears fired Eberflus last year, talked with people in Detroit, and what's he going to be like? Is he going to have control of this guy? I heard, he's a guy who blows up a lot. Is it a problem? Is it good? They're like, no. This is exactly what this team needs. And you've seen it already from off-season program. That's not going hard in practice, and he is pushing them. I mean, he's getting on guys. There was a moment in veteran minicamp where practice stopped. I just heard a yell, and I'm like, which assistant is that yelling? It was Ben Johnson. He was right in Cole Kmet's grill. Cole Kmet, captain, beloved player. Ass. Everybody loves Cole Kmet in that
hometown kid.
Staff.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson's right in his face mask telling him off. That's setting a tone. And if you're a young player, you're looking at a guy who's a 6-year veteran in Cole, getting chewed out by his head coach, you're ready for your moment there.
It could be
that's
it's like I'm next.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that sends a message to these guys. You've seen it all throughout camp. Ben blows up on these guys, but
how often does that happen?
Maybe once a practice.
Okay.
And it's not like a scene, but you hear it. Yeah. I stand next to George McCaskey a couple weeks ago during this is the guy who didn't want swearing on Hard Knocks. You got to accept the swearing now. It's coming. You got a head coach who's getting on these guys, but it's for the better. Think about this roster. Ryan Poles had rebuilt it over 3 years, and there are a lot of flaws there, but you got a head coach who's determined to squeeze every ounce of this, and that's what they have now.
What do you think are the biggest flaws still?
I mean, look,
you're there. You're watching it.
I'm still not sure if they can get a consistent pass rush. Jalen Johnson's injury scares me. Mm-hmm. They're not set on him being ready for week 1. They've not confirmed that he will. Ben Johnson's phrasing was they're
playing coy about it.
Yeah. We'll see. And obviously the quarterback's development is paramount in that. You got to see him take that step. I think he's going to get there. I think when you're at the end of August, mid-August even, you're going to see it start to click, and you're seeing flashes of it already. But this is the no excuses tour now. He's got the coach, he's got the scheme, he's got the offensive line, he's got the receivers. Everything's there. And there were plenty of excuses, rightfully so, last year. Now it's on Caleb. Elevate everybody around you. Let your talent shine. I'll say this for him. Like, he's got what it takes to be great. He works his ass off. This is a guy who's going to do everything he can to be successful. He's putting in the hours in the building, outside the building. I would buy the stock. I believe in Caleb Williams still, but it's rocky out there some days, and that's okay.
Now, 2 questions to follow that up. One, how does that compare and contrast to the last 2 high pick at quarterback, Justin Fields and Mitch Trubisky? And 2, do you think there's an unfair target on his back right now?
Look, I'll go the second question first. Or like, probably, but I think it's outside noise. I think it's outside of Chicago noise. I think people who just don't like him for whatever reason are getting on him. They find the video of hitting him with the nails, whatever it is. Yeah. Him missing the net. You find these little things. I saw people finding videos from like last year in training camp. Matt Eberflus is right behind him. They're like, Caleb with another pick in practice today. It's like, okay, whatever.
That's something I would fall for.
Yeah, I'd fall for that too.
Like, look, it's people don't like him. He's polarizing. But if he's great, he's polarizing for all the right reasons too. I think he's going to be okay. And the reason I believe that, like, I think he can be a franchise quarterback. I think he can be great. With Mitch, he didn't have the complete package of talent, and the processing element wasn't there. Justin had all the talent there was. The processing element was missing still. And by processing, I mean, you get the ball in your hand. How quickly are you seeing a coverage, a safety coming in on you? Right? Where's your second read from your first? How quickly are you going through that? Justin Fields' best plays, no disrespect, he's going to have a long career in this league still, but his best plays were the break out of the pocket and run, off-script stuff, 2-minute mode when you get to improvise a little bit. He was not able to play within a system. And there were excuses, man. It was not steady around him that entire tenure for him. Maybe it works for him in New York. I don't know.
I don't think it will.
I don't think so either.
But to your point, he did and does still, to some extent, I don't know what extent that is, but to some extent have a built-in excuse. And to your earlier point, there's none for Caleb right now. It's Caleb's team. It's do or die. He got the offensive line rebuilt. He's got the head coach now. He's got the young Declan Doyle, offensive mind.
What has been the look of that offensive line?
Yeah.
Obviously, left tackle is still an open competition. The other 4 spots seem slotted. Does it look like a cohesive unit yet?
Well, it's just nice to see stability. It's nice to see who's your center today. It's Drew Dahlman. It's not this rotation of this guy or that guy. Yeah. Where's Nate Davis? Is Nate Davis out of practice? Does he want to practice today? Like,
who gives a shit?
Like, exactly. It's nice to go out there every practice, not take note of who's there and who's not, who wants to be out there. Dahlman at center. You got Jonah Jackson at right guard. You got Joe Tooney, who's Hall of Fame caliber perhaps at left guard, and we'll see.
He's been hurt a little bit, Jackson has been hurt a little bit.
He'll be all right. It's minor stuff.
Minor, just veteran.
And then Darnell Wright, I think, is going to continue to ascend. That left tackle spot, it's a good competition. I think it's a 3-man competition now.
Like actually 3-man?
No, not for long. I think Karan Amagachi is still developing. I think they know he's going to bow out of it at some point. Has
he shown flashes of?
No, and he's been hurt the last couple of days too. No. Yeah. It's Braxton Jones and it's Ozzie Trapillo. I think it's going to be Ozzie Trapillo. Ben Johnson was asked, what do you want that left tackle spot? He said it's got to be, pass pros first. And Braxton Jones has been a better run blocker. He doesn't have that anchor to be a consistently strong pass protector. He's a reliable player. He's going to have a good career in this league. Yeah. And whether he's a swing tackle this year or not, or if he's the starter, he's going to get a good deal somewhere else next year to be a starter. But Ozzie Trapillo is the future, and I think he's the present too. He looks really strong out there. Yeah, the ability to be both the mauler but play with technique, like you don't get that. He's got rare traits, and I think they see that in him.
Yeah, and if they're both even right now, you got to give it to the young guy, right? The guy that is on here for at least another 3-4 years or 4 years on his rookie deal.
Not necessarily.
I think that's a college. Like
why
Carl used to say that.
Why though? If they're both even, they both have the same. I
mean, it's.
Let the guy develop. That's my.
But it's like letting a guy develop while you have Caleb. So like your left tackle being like, well, he's learning.
Well, the other guy's at this point in his 4th year, and he's already probably hit his ceiling of what he's going to be.
Yeah,
a player. That's where I'm.
No doubt. Yeah.
But I think it was notable. The first depth chart came out last night, and it was Braxton as your starting left.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put much stock into that, but it was notable that Matt Eberflus wanted to anoint young players and say, this is our rookie. He's going to be our starter day one. Ben Johnson's not doing that, and I think they're going to really push Ozzie to earn it.
It doesn't seem like he's doing that for really anybody aside from Caleb for obvious reasons.
And Colston Loveland, who was listed as a tight end alongside Cole Kmet, which understandably so.
They're going to
That's
be.
That's your
right.
top pick.
Do
But
you think they're going to play a lot of two tight end? Have you seen
I mean,
just
the teams
looking
that
at
play,
sets?
yeah, like the teams that play a ton of 12 personnel max out at like 35%. Like you're going to mix it up. I think you're going to see Ozzy out wide a little, or Colston out wide a little bit. Like he's really damn impressive, guys. I mean, you got to see the way he looks out there. When they picked him over Tyler Warren, like I was surprised, and I think a lot of others were. This kid is a route runner.
I saw him break Brisker or Gordon. I was mixed the two up. Number 6 ankles.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just he's really impressive route runner. The way that he can create space and then use himself to create a mismatch of that size, it all comes natural. And the thing that they really drew them to Loveland over Warren is the fact that he can make plays downfield. Like Warren's probably more of an intermediate guy, short to intermediate. Colston can be a game-breaking type player, like that true pass catcher, deep threat, a guy who can really pick apart defenses. And think about the complement there with Cole Kmet if you're doing two tight end sets with DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Luther Burden. Like you've got playmakers, you got a combination of speed that a defense is. Think about being a safety when you got a speed there. Maybe it's a lot of Zacchaeus coming at you with really impressive speed, or Devin Duvernay, who's looked pretty fast and impressive out there as well. Like if you're a safety, you got the size of Colston Loveland coming at you with also the speed threat at some of these wide receivers. It's gonna be tough to play a secondary against the Bears if this passing game really takes off.
And to that point, we're going back to how Caleb doesn't really have any built-in excuses. You just rattled off a bunch of what are really good playmakers or could be really good playmakers this year and moving forward. And obviously the offensive line has been a work in progress for years now, but if your worst skill player is Swift,
well, that brings me to my next question.
That's actually a good problem to have.
I saw a report today that Roschon is getting a lot of looks and a lot of love in camp. Is that accurate?
He looked good yesterday, man. They did the short yardage stuff. I think he's going to be that short yardage back, which is what he should be. Like you've seen what he is and what he isn't. And the last staff completely misused him. Think about the sequence that keeps coming back to me.
You don't say.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Down in Indy last year.
The option, right?
The entire sequence. They ran.
We were there.
It ended with the Swift 12-yard loss, but they went Khalil Herbert first down, second down, third down, and then they went to Swift. Where's Roschon in that spot? Like that's your short yardage power back. That's the guy who's going to plow home. It's not Doug Kramer either. Everybody loves Doug Kramer. That's not your fullback. Like use Roschon Johnson the way he's meant to be used. And I think the staff understands that, and they love Roschon Johnson in that building. And I think the staff understands, like, he's not going to be a feature back. He's not going to – they know what his ceiling is, but they also see he can complement Swift well, be a really tough runner in those spots, and get those hard-earned yards. So I think you're going to – like, if you're playing fantasy football, like, he's going to be your vulture. Think about what Jamal Williams was a couple years ago in Detroit for Ben Johnson's offense. Like, played alongside Swift, I believe. Like, I think you're going to see Roschon Johnson have a good red zone, goal-to-go kind of role.
Going to take a quick break from Chris Emma talking Bears so we can talk about Barstool Golf Time Supreme. This golf season, are you looking for an easier way to get on the course? Well, we've got you covered because the Barstool Golf Time app makes it easier for golfers to find the best tee times at the best prices. So stop searching all over Google for your next tee time or going through the hassle of calling courses. You can search multiple courses in your area from one app and get your tee time set within seconds. With every action you take in the app, you earn reward points, which can be redeemed for merchandise in the Barstool store. And our golf lines are unbelievably good. A ton of different brands we work with. It's well worth that. So we just relaunched a rewards experience in the app, and there's more items in the Barstool store to choose from than ever before. So now you have a lot of flexibility with those points too, and you can use those reward points as credit for any item in the collection, or you can bundle them and use points on multiple items too. So come golf with us and download the Barstool Golf Time app today. Now, yesterday, reports are via you amongst your colleagues got a little chippy.
It was
Braxton Jones versus Gervon Dexter, Braxton Jones versus Austin Booker. Tyreek Stevenson was applauding it later on. How are we looking? Do the boys hate each other? Or is this just competitive spirit where the dad's watching from the sideline, like, let the boys fight it out?
I loved it. This is my 11th year covering the Bears. Like, never seen a practice like that. Never seen so much live tackling. I'll put it this way. Ben Johnson talked to us before practice. Like, guys, it's a big day for us today. And he kind of had this wry smile going. they get out there and like the tackling's live. Like usually every camp I've seen and most camps in the NFL, it's wrap somebody up, whistles down, don't bring him down, don't get somebody hurt. They were going live, and some big hits out there, like guys getting thrown around, hit stick type stuff. There was no whistles. There was no guys. Come on, keep them up. Like they wanted that. This was
Let them go.
Ben's thing yesterday was like, let's get after it. I was watching Brian Baldinger yesterday, who was like the best guy you could possibly watch a football practice with.
Awesome.
He was so damn into it. It was great. He was loving the hitting out there. He's like, dude, this is like the stuff I see out in Pittsburgh and only Pittsburgh. But it's also stuff you see in Detroit. This is what Dan Campbell does. This is Ben carrying on what's made the Lions successful and what Dan Campbell has done. It was the most physical, intense practice I've seen. The live tackling's out there. You got to tackle to play football. I've seen so many of those week 1, week 2 games where they come out there, the tackling's soft, it's not there. Nothing about yesterday was soft. And it was offense and defense challenging each other. They were getting after. The offense had some moments. It was a lot of short yardage work. I love the smile. You're feeling this.
Oh, I'm feeling this. Chris, I'm not kidding.
Be out there yesterday.
I'm not kidding. I texted you this the other day. I'm like, because you're like my best friend of the beat guys that have been boots on the ground, I have been holding off on just bombing you with text messages, how the boys look, because I wanted to get it all, focused on this show because I knew we'd have you in eventually this offseason. But it's exactly what I was hoping for in a conversation because I am fucking fired up hearing everything about what you're saying right now.
Yeah,
what was the coaching staff's reaction? So even if, like, let's say that when they closed the doors and like that was great on the field, when you're having these skirmishes, what was their reaction to that? Were they like...
Antoine Randall was like in a skirmish. Like he wasn't fighting anybody. Like he was like heated. Like tells you what these guys want. Like Antoine Randall, another guy came from Detroit. Like he was one of Campbell's right-hand men. Like it was a huge hire for Ben Johnson to make. Like that's his assistant. That's his top guy. Like Randall was feeling it. This whole staff was getting into it. Like they were just... This was something and they'd not been doing this every day, but this was... leading into an off day for the players, with the Dolphins coming to town on Friday for joint practice and then the preseason game Sunday. They wanted to let's do our thing first and let's set a tone before we take on another team.
Give them a little breather, a little buffer zone, buffer day.
They had a beach day, an actual beach day
at Northwestern, right?
Yeah. And then here they are the next day, and it's no day at the beach, so to speak. They were getting after him. It was I never seen a practice like that, and there were so many times with the Eberflus regime where.
But were there punishments for this?
Yeah. Were there did they dap it up afterwards?
Roshan Johnson ran a lap down the sideline, and we thought it was punishment. He goes, no, I didn't finish my rep because I got into the fight. I had to go finish my rep. So he was just running to the end zone.
That wasn't directed.
Self-imposed from Roshan Johnson. Talk about player-led following what the coaches are doing. That's an example. And it's if
different. This doesn't work, Chris, I'm going to come back to this conversation and be like, what the fuck were you telling us? Because you got me so pumped right now.
I told you about Eberflus when the day they hired him. I wasn't sure about it. I've been a lot of microphones, a lot of writing, a lot of social media saying, is Ben Johnson or bust for me this offseason? Anything short of him would have been a huge disappointment in my mind because of everything I mentioned, the way that he can build an offense for Caleb and the way he can set a culture that's been missing. It was the perfect hire for this team at the right time. And if it doesn't work out, and you never know, man, the NFL's weird. Stuff happens, but...
Got to be healthy, all that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's a million things outside their control that can go wrong. Obviously, health being one of them. The schedule being the other one. We haven't even really talked about that. They have an absolute gauntlet of a schedule in spite of being a fourth-place team last year.
Go figure, right?
But I'm in the minority when I say this, and it's a total meathead thing to say, but I want to play the best and beat the best. If they end the season in my final, and I was going to say this today, this can't change by the end of.
What was the Eagles' regular season schedule last year?
I feel
no one fucking knows. That's what I'm saying to you. I will play all last place teams gladly, and then worry about the good teams in the playoffs.
No, but changes every year with the NFL. There's variance, there's parity constantly. You never know.
It's the NFL. The worst place team can give the first place team a game on any given Sunday, as the quote and the adage goes. But and I've said this personally on the show a few times. Chris just articulated it way better than I ever could. But there's no excuses for the organization anymore. They're really aside from like the nitpicking first year head coach, first year in a new system with Caleb, but beyond that, I don't really think there's any excuses. It's do or die, go win a fucking Super Bowl. And on that note, are you trading for Mike Parsons?
I mean, the parallels to 18 are crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
Exact same scenario.
Aside from, I actually think Caleb Williams is going to be a superstar.
That's the difference. I hated the Trubisky pick on draft night.
I talked myself into it.
I think everybody kind of did, right?
I was trying to get to be like, can he be average? And that could be good enough. But it is like first-year head coach with an offensive mind, second-year quarterback, veteran defensive coordinator.
A defense that might be a pass rusher away.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Yes. So it's like, what is this?
And based on what we think of the Bears, that pick's not going to be like a top 5 pick again, you know?
And let's say, no matter what, let's say it is a top 5 pick because the Bears flame out, you're still not drafting Arch Manning. You're still not taking a quarterback high because you're
at that point probably only
you got 2 years. You still have 2 years of Caleb left, so you're not that top 5 pick. It's always great to have a top 5 pick, but you need a quarterback. So it's you're gonna run it out with Caleb anyways. So you might as well, whoever you're drafting in the top 5 is probably not gonna be as good as Micah Parsons.
I'll preface this by saying I just don't think he gets traded. There's stubbornness in Dallas. Jerry
Jones said that.
He's not going to blink on this. The Raiders understood their situation. Yeah. They made that move with Matt because they had to. I don't see Jerry Jones giving in and saying, I give up, you're out, let's make this move. And they're always all in. And they need Micah Parsons to be all in. They'll get it done. I think they'll get a deal done there, and it'll all be kind of a forgotten point. But look, man, if there's a trade negotiation and Parsons is on the table, you gotta put an offer in. You gotta think about it, right? You believe in this quarterback. You'll believe in everything about this roster. Through 3 years of rebuilding, you got the right head coach. You got the right defensive coordinator with Dennis Allen. Everything's in place to make this kind of move. Mm-hmm. And you've been really careful with your draft capital, with your cap. Everything's still there. Everything's in position for this kind of move. I've not heard anything that says they'd be willing to do it, and I don't think Ryan Poles would tip his hand on that privately or publicly. But
he did want Judon last year.
We saw that in Hard Knocks.
He's made those aggressive moves before, man. I mean, Montez Sweat was an aggressive move.
Mm-hmm. Sure was.
Chase Claypool, it didn't work out, but that was an aggressive move. He's willing to make those moves if he believes it's right. And it's hard to see anything wrong in adding Micah Parsons to this defense.
I saw one guy say, Micah Parsons, he's all garbage time stats. Go look at what his record is against, he's a quarterback for, against good teams. It's what? He is a fucking edge rusher. It doesn't matter where he plays.
He should have been elevating Cooper Rush that whole time, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
The dude's an elite talent, a game changer. Think about what Dennis Allen could do with Micah Parsons in his defense. And beyond that, what it would do for Montez Sweat.
Jarrett.
I think Montez Sweat's going to have a big year, guys. He's healthy. He looks different. That first step is back.
Okay.
Put Micah Parsons alongside him now. Sweat's the other guy now. And that defense feels dominant all of a sudden. I think they can be a top 10 kind of defense. And you get Parsons, man, it's legit top 5, top 3.
Right. You go to a solid defense to
And the pressure's off Caleb a little bit too, man.
Totally.
It adds a lot to help.
They'll go get the ball for him,
that's too. We talked to who do we have in here? The defensive end, Alex Brown, a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about, he's like, dude, we didn't need that. We just need the offense to not mess up really, because we were gonna go get the ball back for him, you know.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, this is an offense that should be able to move the ball with absolute consistency. Not that it will all the time, and not that there won't be growing pains, but if Caleb knows that he doesn't have to force that viral throw that we saw at Family Fest at Soldier Field the other day, that's a win. You know, it's the trickle down effect is real. So I'm all for pushing the chips, even though there are PTSD remnants of the the Mitch Trubisky years, even though Khalil Mack was just
But you said it
awesome.
Too, you guys did on with that. The biggest difference is the quarterback, and it wasn't a sure thing with Mitch, and it's not a sure thing with Caleb, but you feel really good about Caleb's future, and that's ultimately if he's great, I believe he's going to be great. I think that the Bears certainly believe he's going to be great. then he elevates the offense and everybody around him, and you got a game changer in Micah Parsons on defense with a unit that's ready to take off. And, man, then you're talking about championship aspirations, like right out of the gates.
Fuck. Now they got to do it. Anybody else, or another guy that I have a soft spot for and a belief in is Austin Booker. Is he looking like he's bigger, stronger, faster in year 2?
Youngest kid in the NFL last year, I think.
Strong enough to shove Braxton Jones over in a fight yesterday.
Pretty good.
It was, I'm curious about him. Like, it was a fascinating draft pickup. They believe in him.
Yeah.
This is a guy who's willing to work. I love the first thing he did when he was drafted was understand that his new defensive line coach at the time, now gone, was Travis Smith, who coached Max Crosby. And he wanted to, he's like, I want to learn what made Crosby. He just reached out to Max Crosby, form that connection. How can I work with Travis Smith? Immediately talk to Travis Smith. How can I be like Max Crosby? This is a guy who understands the work that he needs to put in. He's a raw player. He's going to take some time. I don't know if he's going to have an impact this year. But
could he be a situational, hey, it's third
Pin
and
your
11?
ears back, go and get the quarterback guy?
You want one of him or Dominic Robinson to be a steady part of that rotation. And two guys who are really developmental pieces. Robinson more so because he only played a year of edge rusher before actually coming into the NFL.
Yeah.
Booker's just a raw talent who probably needed another year of college ball. And you didn't see him flash. I think his one sack last year was on Penei Sewell. And that was that play where Ben Johnson was in his bag in Detroit, and Penei Sewell's about to throw the pass, gets shoved out of bounds by Austin Booker. He got his first career sack.
Nice.
You want to see him stack a couple more this year.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah, right? It's just, you shout out Ben Johnson on that one.
Yeah.
You want to see Austin Booker ascend a little bit and show more than just some flashes. But look, Dayo Odeyingbo's a key piece of this defense. You paid a lot of money for him.
Yep.
Montez Sweat needs a compliment. He needs some help there, and it just was not there before. I've not seen Odeyingbo really show me much yet in camp, but you've not had a chance to see it. I want to see some production. I want to see the sacks. I know everybody talks about the disruption and what he brought in Indy, and that's great, but I want to see him get into the quarterback and making a true difference for this defense because Montez needs the help, man. He needs some guys rushing alongside him there.
How often do you talk to Austin?
It's been a while. It's not done it in this camp yet.
So throw this to him the next time you interview him tomorrow even. I ran into him at Little Bad Wolf, and I asked him what he thought of the burger. This was a year ago, so he was fresh into Chicago, and he's like, what? I didn't get the burger. How do you go to Little Bad Wolf and not get the cheeseburger?
What did he get?
Just not the cheeseburger. I mean, everything's good there, but you get the cheeseburger.
Any final thoughts from you? Anything that we should be looking for on Sunday or anything else?
I'm just ready for the Notre Dame's Going Undefeated blog, man. I've been checking my computer every day.
It'll be the Thursday or Friday before week 1.
It's going to be the easiest write for you ever this year, man.
There are years where it's like, this is a bit, and there are years where I'm like, they could do it. This is a year where they could do it.
It's never a bit. It's always a real. I feel it in my soul, and I certainly feel it this year. So it's going to be a fun year for the Irish, man.
Yeah, they're going to be great.
I'll be blowing up your phone. I'll be blowing you up every Saturday.
What about the Wildcats? Are they going to have a fun year?
I mean, I want to see them show some growth. Can I be real? I did the David Braun thing. I just was never sure about, and you never hire the interim coach. It's just always kind of my rule, unless it's Bo Pelini or Ed Orgeron. You don't hire the interim coach. I don't know. I want to see them ascend a little bit because that first year was a little bit of smoke and mirrors. Last year was more back down to reality. The quarterback looks good. They've got some pieces in place. It's going to be fun. You get to the Lakeside last year.
Yeah, a few times. I'm actually re-upping my season tickets as soon as we get done with this interview.
I'll be waiting for my invite, my friend. Let's do it. It's a heck of a setup out there, and the new Ryan Field's going to be awesome, too.
I can't wait for it to open. But so that's it. Any parting words? Anything you want to get out to the ethos? Where can we find you? Let's start there.
670 The Score, 670thescore.com, WBBM Radio as well, doing afternoon updates, doing that today and quite a bit. So, yeah.
What about on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff?
At Siema670 on Twitter, at Sema Sports on Instagram, and yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Go find out. Boots on the ground, Chris Emma. Thank you for coming in. It's been great seeing you. First time in a couple years, Chris.
Yeah. We'll do it again.
Do it again soon. Yeah, we'll get a quarterly update or something.
Sounds good. Take care, boys.